Hey there, folks. This video, I'd like to talk about a transitional period in my life that is today. I had just moved from Topsom, Maine to a town closer to Portland, right outside Portland, so closer to work. But I moved to Maine about going on 4 months ago, and I moved in with the piercer of the tattoo shop I'm still working for. And, I came in with the expectations that, anticipation that me and this guy will be friends. The day I moved in, there was still snow on the ground 4 months ago almost. And, he seemed okay. I picked up that, even beforehand from phone calls that he was very goth, and I'm very goth. I just moved, so I'm in terrible shape right now. I ain't got any friends here. I got to do all this moving on my own. But he's very goth, and he had this goth girlfriend he already gave up on. And he's 23, just turned 24 recently. And that's the age when I got into tattooing, and he's a piercer. So, in our field, piercers were for years looked at as lowly and not to be nearly as well respected as tattooists. So I'm past that. I'm old school. I could still have that bias against piercers. And when I worked in Frankfurt, Germany, the owner expected us to beat on the piercers when they annoyed us, and they did. They got beaten on, physically and mentally abused in Germany, the piercers. So, it's a little more extreme out there, but that's the background I come from now, part of it. And, but no, I came in very gracious, like wanting to be a friend, a mentor, and even saying, look, I've got this background. I'm over twice your age. I hope you'll take advantage of this opportunity of us converging for me to help guide you in life, because first of all, he's a cutter. He's suicidally depressed. Just as we were planning for me to get here, he already cut himself once and had to, go to the hospital. It wasn't even that major a cut. It just looked like attention getting, that type of cutting. And he's definitely got social anxiety. He is adopted. He doesn't know who his real parents are, and I know how that must fuck with some kids. But he comes from a very rich adopted family, and they took care of him. They bought him a house. He's from Idaho. He decides to move to Maine with his girlfriend from Idaho. She's just a drug addict slut that dicked him around and made him buy a house out here, only for her to move back to Idaho and take all the stuff that he got for the house. And he's just a kid. He just lives in a bedroom. He's got this big, beautiful house in a great part of Maine. And I live in a shitty little studio apartment right downtown in a smaller city next to Portland. But hey, at least I'm independent now and away from this fool. But this kid, he's just so gifted. He's got so much, and he can't see it. And I thought I'd help him, but he can't appreciate nothing. And all of a sudden, after a little while, he just gave me the silent treatment while he would talk all joking and chuckling with everybody else we're associated with, the boss who's, the boss's girlfriend. And, and I called him out on it. I was like, you got to stop this. All right. Because a few times he talked to me about his depression. I was like, well, yeah, I'm a Christian. Turns out he's a Satanist. Real Satanist. It doesn't do anything to be a Satanist. Just likes the title to be scary and intimidating. But you don't exercise it. It's just so damn stupid to be a Satanist. I even knew that long before I was saved. Like, what are you doing? You think this demon that rules this world, loves you and is going to look out for you? Yeah, it may take care of you in your lifetime, but there's a price to pay. There's truth to that, and I know it for a fact, because I went to the other side and I came back and I brought a little information with me. But he didn't want to know about any of that. Not at all impressed that I survived a bullet in my head and that I'm suicidally depressed to this day, and I could teach him something about his own suicidal depression. No, I through him, first person I experienced ageism from. He's 23, 24, thinks I'm some dumb old dude. No matter what I could show him, all my publications, all my accolades, awards. No, I'm just still some stupid ass. I made the one mistake of this is pretty. I made the one mistake of letting him know that Christ, what he's done for me and what he continues to do for me, and how it could be good for him. But he comes from Idaho and Mormon country out there, so he had it shoved down his. Shoved up his rectum, all his Christianity, but their form of Christianity, which is, wrongly taught to people and turns people off, just like Catholicism turned me off originally. I had to find Christianity. It's just the purest form, most direct route to Christ. And, but no, he used that as an excuse. Well, this guy's trying to fucking Bible bash me. No, I did it once because we had to commute together because I didn't have a car right away when I came here. I had to buy one. And so I had to drive with him 40 minutes both ways for a few weeks until I got my license in order and whatnot. And so we would get into spiritual debate and whatnot. But, just a moron. He was just looking for an excuse to dislike me so he could get me out of his house. Now, on the best tenant he has, he's got this house, he's got a girl living downstairs, almost never there, and that's valuable to him, that she's never there. And she's paying $800 for a finished basement floor, the entire floor, but she does nothing with it, and her bedroom is a fucking pigsty, and she's just a young lady, works for some social, she thinks she's a shrink of some kind, and she's hardly ever there, and that's better for him. But I show up almost every night. I do the dishes, I vacuum around the house, I help decorate, I drop throw rugs. I made the place look livable, and none of that was of value to him. He just wanted me out. Even though I had this teeny weeny little bedroom, I was paying $500 a month, which was cheap, very private, secluded location. I would have liked to stay there, but for a while longer anyway. Obviously, not growing old together, but yeah. So I started getting. I called him out one night in the house, and I was like, "Look, you're from Idaho. I've worked up and down the East Coast and overseas, and I've done much of New England where we are now, and I've built more bridges than I've burnt. And all I have to do is make a few phone calls, and you won't be able to find work anywhere outside the shop you're in now. So I would stop with this frickin' silent treatment because he wasn't rude to me once, but he didn't know how else to push me away but to be silent. I was like, look, dude, let's communicate. If you don't jive with me, which there's no reason not to. I'm goth, I'm metal, he's goth, he's metal, I'm suicidally depressed, he's suicidally depressed, but I'm Christian and he's satanic, so and I'm twice his age, so that just shuts it all down. We can't have any relation whatsoever, even if we're co-workers and roommates, and you're my landlord, because it's his house, undeservedly. And so I started taking pictures. Well, I told him that one night, then he lightened up a little bit. I could tell that shook him up. That I threatened him, his employment chances around here, and so I lightened him up. But he's still sunk back into silent treatment to this day. Now today I just got everything out of that house. I got a U-Haul van, used my own car, a little tiny Nissan Versa, and I got everything to where I am now. I'm now in the town where I live, which is more city-like, but still pretty. And so I started taking pictures around the house just in case I had to prove to my boss, who favors him, because I don't know, because he's a little dummy, and he's easier to push around or whatever, little greenhorn. And I have greater demands being older, and having a history in the field. I demand a little more respect, and rightfully so, And that doesn't mean you have to polish my shoes or anything, or just be my friend. That's all, and don't disrespect me. And we'll never have to show you how much I'm insistent on respect. Just be nice to me. I love to just be your friend. We don't have to. Oh yes, Mr. Ray. No, Mr. Nothing like that. But so I started taking pictures around the house just to show what I've done since I've been there, in case, because we don't even have a lease. I had no agreement that I paid now almost 4 months. I think 4 months to live with him. No receipts or nothing. So I'm like, I better watch my ass. So I took pictures showing all the good I've done around the house compared to him, compared to her. He doesn't even know how to maintain a property. This kid goes home, runs to his room like he lives in his parents' house. He's got a whole living room. I brought a big widescreen TV, surround sound. That was all mine. I let the rest of the house enjoy it, and they did sometimes. But even when I came home and they were enjoying TV, soon after, they would all just scurry to their bedrooms or whatever. Ageism, because they're all in their early 20s. The girl, him, her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was kind of nice because he was a real Mainer, and he wasn't in on the circle jerk with them too. But maybe not, but right up towards the end he was. But anyway, I'm taking pictures around the house, and to prove that what good I've been there, in case he starts complaining. Well, that's why I kicked him out, because he was doing this or doing that. Well, here's the pictures of the good I've been doing. Nothing but good. To fucking enjoy the fact that you got such a good, quiet, respectable, considerate guy like me, cleaning the dishes that I don't even make. I cleaned their dishes so many times because I didn't want to live in their filth. I contributed so much. So I took the pictures to prove it, and as I'm taking the pictures, I didn't notice right away, but I took a picture of this tapestry that he had up of some satanic insignia, and he didn't even decorate the house at all, but he had this stupid thing up, and then he had Motionless in White, his favorite band, a poster of them. That was it, entire house, but he had this thing, this tapestry. And it was black and with the red satanic symbol. So I went into that, I took the picture of that. And then I looked at the picture later and I said, look, there's a beam. This was nighttime, and there was a colorful beam of light coming from outside, like in the universe or whatever, from out of the house, and beaming down on the center of this tapestry, the very center of this symbol. And I wish I could show you now, but I don't have, I'm not very savvy, computer tech savvy. I have it on this phone that I'm talking to you, but and I showed it to the boss. I said, but she's an atheist, and kind of lefty, and doesn't believe in any of that stuff. I was like, here it is. This is no strange lighting, just dark in the house. Just a flash, I think, for the and then this strange beam of light, and on the opposite side of the wall was his bedroom, and that beam of light was coming down diagonally onto his bed, through the satanic symbol, through the wall, onto his bed, and just digging and eating at him every day and night, where he would just hide in his room until he had to leave for work or come home and rush back to his room. Now, if it were me there, he's definitely rushing to his room. If it was a girl, he was a little less intimidated. Not that I was ever intimidated. I was always friendly to him, wanted to be his friend. But then I got a little intimidating when I got a little annoyed with him. But I showed this, this paranormal activity from this tapestry, and I mean, I blessed the house. I went around praying on the house with the crucifix up, and many times. And then what I did with that tapestry, I took a big marker, and on the black section, I took a black marker, and I uh, wrote in a crucifix right in the middle of the satanic symbol, right where the beam of light was. Strange light, multiple colors, nothing else odd in the entire photo except this light, cutting through that fucking the center of that symbol. So I put the cross right where that light was coming through, and I think it struck a difference in the tone, the overall tone of the house, the feel of the surroundings, and I think it helped. And he didn't know about it because it was black marker on black. So I mean, if you look at it close enough, you could definitely see there's a crucifix there. But he also, I buy 2 garbage cans because he doesn't even got garbage cans. He's such a dummy, and well, I go in with him on garbage cans. I buy one, he buys one, and I bring him to the house. The neighbors got the same garbage can, so I said, "Look, we got to mark these garbage cans, our house number." And he marks them with inverted crosses and the same satanic symbol, the only one he knows, and uh, and and then I got pissed at that, and I got to call him out on it in front of the boss one time when I was criticizing him for his stupidity and his ignorance, and and that was it. Then, because I took the same spray can that he put the insignias on the thing, on the garbage cans, and I just sprayed over and blotted them all out. I said, "Fuck you, dude," and he could still he could still kick me out at that point. There's no proof that I live there, and but he knows I was protected because the boss, this shop really needs me, and it's sad that they won't fire me because they really are desperate for an artist and not because they see the value in me and the goodness I bring and how much I bring to the table as a person, a genuine, authentic, good person, through and through, that just wants to be everybody's friend. But nobody wants to be friends. They all want to just be business. And it's a shame. They're not real Mainers. That's not the main way. And but whatever. So there's that. And so now I'm living by myself in the middle of this great little downtown, closer to one of my old friends, who I've known for 20-something years throughout New England. Wherever I go, he ends up as well, but not just by chance. And what are we doing here? Are we recording still? Okay. Well, that's it. So I couldn't save the kid. Some people we can't save. We're not saving nobody. All we're doing is spreading the good word of the Bible and what it has to offer and what it could do for you. And all you can do is plant that seed. But, he's so young, maybe he needs a lot more years. Maybe he needs a lot more pain and mistakes before he wakes up. But he'll look back at this time when this older version of himself, but still way smart. I was way smarter than him at his age, but because he's a dummy. You could even tell when he laughs. He's like Beavis and Butthead, man. But knowing you're so stupid, why don't you just realize when you're talking, when you're talking to a walking miracle like me, who's got a fucking bullet, shrapnel, shredded brain, yet fucking, is so much, has so much insight to offer, such a depth of knowledge that I could share with so many people, and for the people to disregard it because they just assume you must be brain dead when I'm not showing any signs of brain dead. I'm just telling you I should be brain dead, but there's nothing indicating, I'm still very independent. I do everything on my own, but by the grace of God. Well, anyway, we can't save them all, but all we can do is try. And maybe in the long term, I'll have salvaged this guy's existence. Maybe there's still, I'm just a cog in that wheel that in the long run will save him. He'll look back on or something. I'd love him to be saved, and shun the devil and walk the righteous path. All right, God loves you all. God knows I do. And you're all gonna end up here, so you better get right with God.